Well, good morning. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Once again, it's up to you to do your own due diligence to find out what's right for you. If you have any financial questions, feel free to send us a comment. First, let's go to our screen. And I think everything starts here with education. So the best way to educate yourself is with this book. This is what I follow, How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill, who founded company Investors Business Daily. So that is that. Stop our share. Let's go to the screen, see what's moving this morning. Microsoft, little pullback. Also Apple, Google, big sell down 3.5%. They're having a little trouble with their Gemini AI tool. Eli Lilly keeps rising. The rest of the healthcare is a mixed bag. Consumer defensive, Walmart is splitting its stock. Costco is up slightly. Tesla is up big this morning, up nearly 5%. So NVIDIA continues to do well. All the other semiconductors as well. Micron is up nearly 7%. Software is up. ServiceNow is bouncing off of its 50-day moving average. And it doesn't show, I'm not sure where Health Beauty is, but it is up big today. Guess it should be in the consumer area, but it is not. But let's move on. Once again, I'm going to share this screen. This is annuities. If you have money and you don't think you have 30 years left to recover from a sell-off, an annuity may be a big way to sleep well at night. This annuity, I'm not sure. Everything's bouncing around here. There we go. This annuity beats index investing by about 5%. Let me try that once again. I'm not sure why that screen closed and why everything was bouncing around. But anyway, we saw the screen, it was up 5%. Some annuities are giving up to 30% bonuses. And over time, this is how you beat the index investing. If you have any questions about that, I feel 85 to 95% of people should have an annuity. And I'm just opening up and see what happened here. So let's move on from that. Let's share our screen. We're looking at TWLO. Earlier this morning, we put on a 59.65 spread. So we'll just up a little bit as we put on the spread. And let's right now take a look at our dollar index. It's pulling back. It's down 0.16%. Silver. And it looks like it's gapping down this morning. And it's actually filled the gap here. Maybe it's a possible buy as we see on any pullback. And then when it comes back up here to this area, that's where you sell maybe 10%. And then when it pulls back, you buy 15%. That's how you move ahead in the silver game. Gold is pulling back as well. Looked at this copper stock earlier, it's pulling back. And take a look at the other copper. Big gap down today, nearly 3% in Southern Copper. Freeport-McMoRan gapping down as well. Vale, Brazilian miner gapping down. BHP, we got a gap down there. It looks like we got a gap here, there, everywhere. Yes, sir, we got a gap down there as well. So we'll continue to watch that. And we got a big move in Ethereum. Look at that gap up, nearly 6% move in Ethereum. And let's take a look at Bitcoin. Got a nice move, 5% there. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy. Over here, I told everybody I was buying the 495 calls, closed out the 495 510, and then let the other 495 exercise into the stock. It roared up to, I believe it was 770 was the previous high. No, it was 806.78. I stand corrected. Got a little bit pullback. This looks like a cup with handle, one of the strongest, more common formations in buying of a stock. And it's up 13% today. 191,000 Bitcoins in their possession. Second largest collection of Bitcoins. And then we're going to look at these in the stocks moving. Mara, about 18%. And Clean Spark is up 22%. I've been saying that this is the leader in Bitcoin mining on a percentage gain basis. And this is one we have. It's up nicely as well, up around 15%. So let's go to our bond yields. Bond yields are up slightly today, up 0.77, up getting close to a 1%, bouncing off the 10-day moving average. So it's up to pretty close to 4.3 right here is a yield, and the yield on the 20-year is 3.414, up 1.3%. See what we got on the VIX. VIX is pulling back 1384. I think it was 1305 is our target this week. We'll see if we fill the gap over here and then bounce upwards. S&P 500 pulling back, has pretty flat today, 0.05%. The equal weighted S&P is down a little more, 0.14%. The NASDAQ index is pretty flat, up 0.29%. The equal weight in the NASDAQ, take out the big cap tech, up 0.48%. The small caps, they're back above 200. If that bond yield moves up though anymore or breaks out, this is going to be squashed. Dow Jones is up 0.03%. Take a look at our leading ETFs. We'll pull back in the financials. Wells Fargo keeps trending higher, up 0.89%. JP Morgan, we've got a little bit of a pullback there. Got energy bouncing. Here's our oil pricing. Bouncing off of the 20-day moving average, and our spread in UCO is bouncing as well. Also, see, we need to clear this 30 area if we want to really make some money on that. Let's see if that can happen. Weatherford is a big winner in the oil industry, been a leading stock here. Got a little bit of a pullback there. We got the communications pullback with Google. Facebook is doing better than Google. It's up slightly. I'm going to turn to my handy little sheet here. Utilities. It's pulling back down 1.65%. See what Otter Tail Power is doing. It's up slightly, up 1.32%, trying to get back above the 50-day. Real estate, it's pulling back to the 10 and 20-day moving averages, which are below the 50. So we'd like to see those all above the 50-day moving average. And let's see, biotech. Wow, look at that. That is a breakout for sure. Up 2.25% today. This is the one that has been trailing. We'll see if we can get a breakout in this index as well. Technology, I think, is going to be up big today. Not so big, up 0.57%. Software, a little bounce in software is where we got a nice move, up 1.71%. We got our semiconductors up just slightly, 1.36%. Infrastructure. Wow, this just keeps on rolling. Look at that move from 34.93, pulled back a little bit to 33.07, and then off to the races we go. Jets up slightly. The leader Jets is, of course, Ryan Airways. It's trading pretty tightly here. Not too bad. Out of the office, pulling back. Industrials hanging it pretty tight at 120. Healthcare, a little bit of a pullback in healthcare as we saw on the heat map. Consumer cyclicals, a little bit of a pullback. Building materials, pulling back a little bit. Metals and mining, yeah, pulled back, trying to bounce back to those 10 and 20-day moving average. XHB, home builders are moving up. Lennar and I believe Toll Brothers. Yeah, Toll Brothers broke out at 106.01 on the gap up here, and it keeps moving up. And this is the ETF we really outperforms the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. The FANG times 3 is up at 1.35% today. So let's take a look at our news. News of the day. So Donald Trump, I'm not sure if you've heard, but he won the South Carolina presidential primary. Nikki Haley did, I guess, get about 40%. So that's a story in South Carolina. And now on to our sector news breakdown. Bloomin' Brands mentioned positively in Barron's, saying the company aims to put more sizzle in the sales as it tries to catch up with faster growing competitors. Once it does, the stock should flourish. Notes if the company can keep costs in check. So it is up slightly. Domino's Pizza. This is an amazing company on the stock market anyway. Quarter 4 EPS $4.48 versus estimate $4.38. We got a gap up. Let's take a look at the monthly on this one. This beat out Apple as the best stock over the last 20 years, I believe it is. Let me just pull down from 2008 to 2024. Maybe it's not quite 20 years yet, but it has been an amazing run. So let's just keep the train running. Fresh Del Monte, Q4 EPS loss $2.22 versus a 25-cent. And let's go back to our daily, and it should be pulling back. Yeah, gapping down, trying to fight back towards the end. On to energy, industrials, and materials. Warren Buffett said Berkshire Hathaway has no interest in buying Occidental Petroleum, said in an annual letter. Take a look at Occidental. They're up slightly today, 0.63%, although they own 27.8% of Occidental Petroleum's common stock. Chesapeake and Cheniere should benefit from tightened supply, according to Barron's this weekend. Article notes that oil and oil stocks have been stuck in a tight price range this year, fluctuating a few percentage points. And Chesapeake is down. Cheniere is down as well. This is our more favored one in that area, Dorian. And let's keep moving on. Alcoa made $2.2 billion all-stock buyout proposal for its Australian joint venture partner, Alumina, to give them greater upstream exposure and simplify its operations. And Alcoa is down pretty big on this news. Intuitive Machines shares declined pre-market after the space exploration firm said its Odysseus moonlander had tipped over and was resting on its side. It's down 36% today. That's pretty amazing. Avalon Bay Communities in financials files for a mixed shelf. And nobody likes being diluted, down 0.8%. Berkshire Hathaway B reports operating earnings of $8.48 billion versus $6.63 billion last year. Shares tried to move up earlier and now they're selling off, down 0.9%. Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae both upgraded to outperform from market perform on KBW. Freddie Mac is up slightly. Its penny stock up 4.2%. And Fannie Mae is up slightly, up 2% as well. MicroStrategy suffered a hack on its X or Twitter account that tricked some people into handing over funds to the attacker, according to crypto security analysts. On Monday in Asia, the attacker placed a now deleted post on the company's X page that purported to promote a new coin backed by a company. Users who clicked were directed to another website in what's known as a phishing exploit. So be careful out there, folks. With that, as we can see, MicroStrategy is up about 14% today with the move in Bitcoin. Teva Pharmaceuticals and partner Alvotech said the FDA approved Simlandi injection, a biosimilar of AbbVie's blockbuster rheumatoid arthritis drug, Humira. Teva's up now at its low for the day. And take a look at Alvo, gapping up as well, near its low for the day, up 7.36%. And AbbVie continues strong, up 0.7%. Wow, that's a pretty nice run. On to technology, media, and telecom. AT&T will award billing credits to consumers impacted or potentially impacted earlier this week by a significant wireless outage caused by a technical glitch. KKR is nearing a deal worth $4 billion to buy software business from Broadcom. Pretty flat. And look at Broadcom, up slightly. Walt Disney and Reliance Industries have signed a binding pact to merge their media operations in India, according to people familiar with the matter. This is according to Bloomberg. Disney is up slightly today. Motorola Solutions files mixed security shelf. And finally, Clerk Channel Outdoor, Q4 revenue, $632.11 million versus $610.14 million. So that's our news for today. Let's take a quick look at some of the shares. We had a big move. Well, let's look at them a little later. We're going to look at what's moving in the market right now, where financial professionals are moving their money today. Not sure. We wanted to go to this one, I believe. So this is currently blocking. There we go. Open our daily routine. So we're up. These are the big movers today, up 5% with 50% increase in volume. We looked at Marathon Digital earlier. ARM Holdings, one of our holdings, we bought at 125. They're moving up nicely, up a little over 10% today. Coinbase, with the move in Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're moving up. They're about 14%. Pretty good volume. Dreamfinder Homes, we got a gap up today, and they're at their low for the day, but they're up 5.68%. Their earnings aren't for another 16 days. Robinhood continues to trend higher. Got a gap up in their earnings, and they continue to move up 4.04%. I'm sure Bitcoin is helping them. Zscaler had a big sell-off on Palo Alto Networks earnings, but they continue higher. Gap up. I'm not sure if today's a gap up, but it's a nice move, up 3.67%. We did sell the stock at $214, but we still have an options at $230, so we could get back in with relatively minimal pain. ACMR Research is up big today, up 6.54%. Earnings in 2 days. Single wafer wet cleaning equipment for the semiconductor industry. Salesforce is up big, sort of big. It's above 300. These psychological numbers, round numbers, 200, 300. Once you clear those, they can succeed a little higher. It looks like it had a double bottom here, and now it's cleared that double bottom base, and it is moving higher. This caught my attention. This is recent IPO. I love IPOs. That's where most of the growth are. Looks like it has broke out right over here, 1561. Whether it is stretched or not, you need to decide. We typically don't believe you should buy anything that is more than 5% above the breakout. You see, the breakout would have been 1567. So that is that. On to up 5% and 100% increase in volume. ACM Research is still here. Elvo Tech, Icelandic development of biosimilar. We looked at that in the news. In the coal area, big move, up 440%. Look at this from this breakout. It's gone from 259 to now over 400. It's almost doubled. Not quite, but it's getting pretty close. We looked at ARM just a second ago. Bulgari Holdings, gapping up holding company for 177 operated franchise Steak and Shake. Gapping up a little more than 7%. We looked at this on our weekend update. Betterware continues to perform well. They had a great earnings report, up 87%. Earnings of 64 cents versus 34 cents the previous quarter of the year, of the previous year. Celldex Therapeutics, look at that move today. Earnings came in at a 59-cent loss versus a 56-cent loss a year earlier, and it is moving up, maybe something on the guidance. Here's CleanSpark, top Bitcoin miner. CSP, high performance computer signal processing systems. Look at that move. And they're up another 22% today. I would put this on your watch list. I'm not maybe extended right now, but I would keep an eye on that one. Dell Technologies broke out at 87, and it continues higher, up another 5%. We looked at Dreamfinder Homes in the previous chart. We're not going to look at all 30, but we'll scan through them. Eco Tankers, recent IPO, breaking above this channel area. If we take a look at some of the other stocks in this area, TK had sold off a bunch on their earnings, trying to recover some. This is one in the UK. Had a sell off here and now it's gapping up today, up 2.58%. On this move down here, can't remember if it was this day or this day, put on spread trade on Torm. Fresh Pet is moving up big today, gapping up, earnings up 617%. A friend of mine sent me some information about this. Let me just pull this up. A rise 13% as pet food maker swings to a larger than expected profit. Sales rise as it boosts media spending. Was reduce logistics costs as a percentage of net sales for its higher profit. So there we have that. And Li Auto got a nice mention this weekend, and their earnings up 341% to 67% earnings surprise as Chinese automaker. Big gap up over 15%. Lemonade, a recent of 2020, is breaking out homeowners insurance and rental insurance. MicroStrategy, Palo Alto Networks is trying to come back. Pilgrim's Pride. Looked at Root yesterday on our Sunday show, gapping up a little over 7%, produces prepared and fresh chicken in the US. So what is up 10% and 200% increase in volume? Some of the same names. Hashi Corporation is moving up today, provides multi-cloud infrastructure automation software up 14%. Frontier Communications. Looks like they're breaking out of a consolidation up a little over 10%. Their earnings came out on Friday. 622% earnings surprise. That'll get your attention. And that is our story there. So let's take a look at some of the things that I'm trading in. We bought this on a pullback, SMCI at 725, the option, so we're holding on to that. It is bouncing off of the 10-day moving average, up a little over 2%. Last week we bought into Nvidia. Nvidia keeps moving higher. We bought right about 650. I think it was 667, and then we bought some more 750 and a little higher. Little man on my shoulder after the earnings, right before the earnings came on, says you better buy some shares. So about 15 shares as my 6 cents went into operation. Wish this would let me change the symbol. For some reason it's not. Let me just stop the share here. Close that. See if we can open another screen. It looks like the site is down. Let me see if I can bring it back up. Yeah, I think I got it back up here. So Elf Beauty. And a big move today. Just never know when these moves are going to happen. It was consolidating right in here. Then it broke out right here at 181, was in the 174. I guess you could have added here as it pulled back and then broke out from the 20-day moving average. It's 197.88. I just looked, and from my initial purchase at 122, it's up about 66%. So that's Elf Beauty. Meta. We had initially bought this at 330. Wish I would have listened to my own broadcast and bought it at 300, where I said once the bond yield falls back, this thing is going to soar. Went up to 326, pulled back to 274, to 312. I believe this is where I was talking about it on my show. And it went up to 330, pulled back to 279, up to 342, pulled it back to 313. Then it just kind of rolled up to 395. I had accidentally sold it when I wanted to get the short options off. So I bought call option at 395 right before earnings. I just had a strong feeling earnings were going to come in good. And then I bought a little more. So I have about 170 shares of Meta. Continues to perform well, and now it's added dividends. So I think that may attract some more people. Let me bring up my screen, see what else I can comment on. We had Zscaler. We put this on at 177. On this big drop down, we did sell here because we have a rule on it declines from the peak at 12%. Then we get out of it, but we did have that option at 230, so I think we can get back in at a pretty good price. We put on a PBR option with oil prices bouncing. We have 15 at $18. So it's kind of bouncing here. We'll see if it can get in the money. Right now it is in the money by about $73. I bought this when it was right around 17. I put on the $18 option, so it's making a little bit of a money here. In the housing area, this IPO we bought right around 27, continues to perform well. We only have 100 shares, but we just wanted to participate in the housing area that is continuing to grow. We put on this. NVIDIA has a big investment in SoundHound. We put it right around $3.74. It's up 25% today. Their earnings are in 3 days. So I think we have, we got out of the shares and we put like a 10 of the options to give us the option to buy it at 1,000 shares at, let me see, at 350. So we can buy this at 350 when it's nearly at 5. So that's a good position to be in. Tesla, we had put on this at 190 to 200 when it was at 184. We saw this pop right about here. Let's see if we can, right at this juncture here. We did take a profit of half of the 190, 200, rolled it up to 200, 210. And the other one we left open, some naked options at 190. So that is performing well. We only have 2 of those naked options in case we wanted to buy Tesla if there's a big move up. One of our main holdings, ESTC. It did pull back here. Let's see, we bought it right over here. It had pulled back to the 20-day moving average, popped up, pulled back again as people were preparing for NVIDIA's earnings. I believe that was right here. Popped up the next day, gapped up. Right here is where NVIDIA earnings people were selling off. Gapped up from its 50-day moving average, got supported by professional money management, and now it's up to 131. Our average cost is $120. So that continues to do well. Kava, been talking about Kava for a long time. We talked about it on its IPO base, kind of sold down to 29. We said to get out at 52, sold down to 29, and we put it on again right over here at 30, 31.50, 32. Pull back. No, I think it was right in this area. This is where we put it on. And when it pulled back to 31 on news of drive-through salad, we added 600 more shares. Then right about here, we took off 600 shares, and then another 1,000 on a strong pullback. If it got above 46.20, we were going to put on options. So we put on 10 options. And I believe we have 15 options right now. The opportunity to buy these at, I think it's at 46, 15 call options. No, we did exercise it and we sold some more around 49, and then we bought options at 49. We'll just see where that goes. It had a pretty big pullback, got closer to the 50-day moving average, but now it's bounced off of the 20-day. This is a good area to buy, but earnings are in one day, so wouldn't recommend it right now. We have an option on Celsius. We put that on. Initially, we put it on at 56 and 61. And when it got up here, we rolled it over, half of it to 62 to 67. And we closed the other half. So we have 4 options still at 56, and then we have 4 at with 62 to 67 strike. So if it hits 67, we may roll it again. Earnings are in 3 days, so that's the thing to look at. We looked at NVIDIA, we looked at ARM, Square. Last week did well on its earnings. We may close this one out. Said as long as it holds the gap up, can hold it. If it tries to fill this gap, not so much. So we'll definitely close out at least half of it today. We looked at Meta, we looked at MicroStrategy, we looked at ELF, didn't look at App. Another big earnings mover. It has held this right here. So we're happy with that, and it looks like it got a little consolidation and may break out here. So that's a look at our current holdings. We're still holding on to Burke on see if this one could break out. Needs to kind of clear this area. It's trading kind of tightly here, which is a good sign. So we'll continue to watch this. We'll see how it acts on the day of earnings. I'm not sure if we'll hold it through if it acts negatively. If it acts positively, on the day of earnings, we'll hold it, see how the earnings come in. Another company in another account, we put on at 27. It's doing pretty well. So a lot of the shoe companies seem to be doing well. Deckers doing well. And what's Crocs doing? Crocs is also doing well, although their earnings came in a negative 3%, gapped up on that news. So that's our look around at Mornings with Michael on a Monday morning. Hope everybody has a great start to the week. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a comment. Keep going out there and working on your goals and your activities, and let's surprise all of us with what you achieve. If you have any questions about your personal goals in finance, feel free to reach out to us. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes and sometimes entertainment. So go out there and do your own due diligence because it is your responsibility to find out what works best for you. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you on Taco Tuesday.